Thank you so much, Amanda. And I'll just echo everybody's thanks to the Cogut for making this opportunity possible. Um, as Amanda mentioned, my name is Jennifer Lambe, and I'm in the Department of History here at Brown. I teach on Latin American and Caribbean history, the history of psychiatry, and popular culture. And I just have to say how exciting it is to see two of my former undergraduate students among tonight's presenters. Looking forward to spending the semester with them as well. So my first book, Madhouse, Psychiatry and Politics in Cuban History, very much is exploring that intersection that Amanda highlighted between political history, intellectual history, and popular culture. And that's the topic of my current book project, which is currently titled The Subject of Revolution Between Political and Popular Culture in Cuba. The book explores knowledge production in and about the Cuban Revolution, and specifically that relationship between what we might call high politics or political culture and popular culture. I'm interested in how understandings of the revolution were consolidated during its first 3 decades, both from above and from below, as we historians like to say. The book argues that that subject of revolution here, in both of its kind of significations, represents the synthesis of the imaginaries constructed by its many subjects, including revolutionary leaders, of course, professionals from a variety of disciplines, but most importantly, I think ordinary people. So I'm particularly interested here in the question of mediation. So traditional media outlets, radio, television, the press, but also the ways in which revolution itself, in Cuba always capital R, revolution, came to bear a self-evident meaning to people all over the world, how it could be both obvious and ineffable to so many people at the same time. So the book follows 3 courses or 3 principal axes of mediation: revolution as a political enterprise, as a scholarly problematic, and most importantly, as an experiential framework. So just to give you a sense of some of the things I'm trying to get at here, some of my published work from this project looks at Fidel Castro on TV. Contrary to many recent assumptions, I argue that in fact, Fidel Castro was the world's first reality TV star, and that he used television quite novelly, not only to appeal to, but also to help usher in to delineate our revolutionary public, which in the process made the small screen a kind of center for revolutionary governance, while also turning citizens into spectators and spectators into citizens in a very consequential way. At the Cogut, I'll be sharing some work on travel bans in the age of the Cuban Revolution. So most of us know, of course, that in the United States, a travel ban to Cuba still remains on the books, infamously, one of the longest lasting such travel bans in our modern history. But in this chapter, I'm also trying to get at the sometimes much more opaque limitations to citizen mobility in revolutionary Cuba. So to think about how travel bans on both sides of the Florida Straits become a standard by which the revolution's achievements and failures could be measured. So for US citizens who travel in defiance of the travel ban, that becomes an act of solidarity and a vehicle of knowledge production. And encouraged in Cuba ordinary people to see new parts of the island and the world, or in kind of an opposite sense, turn the waters around the island into a ceiling on their aspirations. So thinking about travel bans both as an impediment to, but also a vehicle for producing knowledge about the revolution. So overall, the subject of revolution features not only your typical subjects, Fidel Castro, of course, gets his own chapter, but also ordinary people on both sides of the Florida Straits in dialogue with new technologies, new experiences, and networks. And the end goal here is really to think about reciprocal effects. I argue that the politicization of everyday life was an inescapable effect of revolutionary process, but also the catalyst for novel ways of knowing and being. Thank you so much.